not good. All right, let's stop the share. Hi guys, having some technical difficulties. Let me try again. Trying to share my screen for an image that I want to share with you guys today. But if you can, go ahead and tap in the group chat and let me know you can hear me at least. And now you're seeing my home screen. Now don't judge me for how many things I have open. But let's see if I can find it here. This is what I'm looking for to see. Let's see if you guys can see that. So give me a thumbs up. I'm going to try to share the full screen. If you can see this, that's not me. I should be live. I should be live, but I don't see me yet. So let's see. Let's give it a couple of seconds. I'm screen sharing, I am recording, and I'm live, but I don't see myself on Facebook quite yet. So let me go back out, go back in. All right, here we are. Yay. Okay, cool. It was probably there the first time. Okay, anyway, so please, if you can, go ahead and post in the comments. Hi, Allie. Okay, cool. So we are going to go ahead and start. Welcome, welcome, welcome. First of all, I just want to congratulate you for showing up again today. Sometimes it's hard. Believe me, I'm a very busy person, just like, you know, the entire United States. I feel like we have an epidemic of busyness and overdoing. And, you know, I sign up for these live events and sometimes, you know, life happens, like the dog gets sick, you know, your daughter calls you to pick you up from school or whatever, pick her up from school, whatever the case is. So I do really want to acknowledge you. If you did make the commitment and you signed up for this live challenge and live to show up, that you are showing up. And I wanted to remind you to continue showing up because there's going to be lots of great information that you're going to learn. Also, scheduling. This was really, really important for me recently because my life was getting so busy, just juggling a million different things, that if it's not in my calendar, it's not going to happen. Okay. So I would love it if you guys could make that extra step in the commitment to show up and go ahead and block this time off in your calendar until Thursday. And I actually have a surprise for you. If you guys can make it on Friday, I'm going to be doing a private training, but I'll be sharing more about that later. So once again, thanks also for participating. So if you were listening yesterday to the recording or you showed up live, I would love to hear your comments. And I replied to everybody who replied to me while we're doing the live. And I know when you're listening back, like you feel awkward, like answering the questions, but I actually do see them and I will respond to them. So if something came up from yesterday's recording, you can always go back and watch it. And if you had a question come up about how to dream big, we're gonna review that stuff right now, but how to get really general and then also get real specific. But don't be embarrassed or shy if you're watching the recording later and you feel weird answering the questions, even though I'm not live with you. I do go back and answer those questions, so I don't want you to miss out on anything. But good morning, good morning, good morning. So yes, Michelle, jump the gun. So yeah, so this is going to be part of today's session, but we are going to review real quick yesterday, because the dreaming part is actually sometimes more important than the next few steps, just because if your dream isn't big enough, you're not going to be motivated to stick to it. Okay. And the other thing I really, really want to drive home is your why. You really need to dial in your why. And I wrote down some whys that I've had other people tell me and some of my own personal whys, just to kind of trigger your mind. So maybe the reason you want to do this challenge, do a triathlon, to sign up for your first triathlon, your 10th, do an Ironman, do an aqua bike, whatever the case is, whatever the dream is, you got to know your why. But maybe it's as simple as what, you know, Larry mentioned yesterday. It's just an excuse to train because he loves, I'm going to help him a little bit here, but he loves the way it makes him feel. I know him and he and I are very similar, and we love how it feels coming across the finish line. For me, that's probably one of the biggest whys that I still race, because it takes me out of my comfort zone. There's no thinking about anything else during that time on the race course. And I absolutely love the way that I feel across the finish line. So that's my big why. And whenever I'm like procrastinating working out, or I haven't hit my training, I always remember that, okay, how's it going to feel across the finish line if I haven't done the training, right? So for me, that's my why. Another example is that you have a friend who wanted to do it, and maybe she's introducing you or pulling you along, and you're like, hey, I want to show up for her. She asked me to join her in this journey. I committed, so I'm going to show up to her or for him, right? So doing it for another person, right? And then this is a big one, being an example to somebody. I think that's such a huge why, because I feel like, our country, it's no surprise that we are one of the sickest countries in the world. We have our obesity rate since COVID has gotten over 70% of the population. So just showing up and being an example to someone else, right, is such a huge why. Because if you can, believe it or not, every single one of you is an inspiration to people around you. If you even think about doing a triathlon, people are always like, oh, you're crazy. That's so crazy. I'm like, no, I'm not. I am like, I love the way I feel. It's so simple when you do have a training program, when you train smart and you progress, very conservatively. It doesn't have to be this crazy, overwhelming thing, right? And so people who don't do triathlon think it's such an out of the box thing. But I don't know if you guys know, but my mission is to have 1 million people cross the finish line in a triathlon and feel what it feels like to do that. And also realize the positive effects that it has had on their lives, because I have had so much amazing transformation through the sport of triathlon. I just want to share that with 1 million people. So you can be an inspiration. Every single person that's on this call or on this live is already wanting to be a triathlete or already is a triathlete. So you already are an inspiration to other people. So just reminding yourself of that and really saying, maybe I'm tired today, but you know what? I know I promised and I said that I would show up and do well at this race. I really need to get my workout on, or I need to choose a better fuel source for my training instead of this pizza or this taco or whatever the case is. Don't get me wrong, tacos can be really healthy. And another why that I love is just to get healthy. So you guys already know I love the sport, but I love the way when people come to me and then they do the training program and they're finished and like, oh my God, I went to the doctor and like all my blood work is like the best it's ever been. And he told me my cholesterol was amazing. And he told me like, I've lost 10 pounds since the last time I went there. And that was not our focus at all. We never weighed in. We didn't measure anything, right? And all these side effects just came because they committed, signed up for the race, invested in the money, invested the money in the race, invested in the coaching, and then this is the result they got, right? So I love that side effect of triathlon. It's pretty cool. And I've had so many people experience that, and it makes them motivated to keep with it, and it becomes the lifestyle, right? So I would love to hear your why. So what's up, guys? I'm just saying hello. Hi, Maria. Good to see you. I'm happy that your training is going well. I'm super excited. And endurance, I want to answer this one question, but endurance is actually it's more important to show up with frequency, right? And maybe once every 2 weeks, hit that longer ride if you're talking about cycling specific. So don't worry if you don't have a lot of long rides. The consistency actually can add up to bigger progress. And including those intervals and stuff like that too. Good morning, Larry. Good morning, Michelle. Yeah, okay, so that was just a quick review of yesterday. So I'd really like, if you haven't already, making sure you're writing down your why and your big dream. And I want to get a little bit more specific today, right? So what is your dream for in the worksheet? You're going to find places for your swim, your bike, your run, your strength, your nutrition. Like, what are those goals? I want you to get a little bit more specific on your dream. And see how it can actually drive you more forward to be more excited about the ultimate outcome of your goal. And then I wanted to also, if you wanted to take it one step further, you can use an app that I love to use with my athletes. And we actually fill this out, before we start the heavy training, we actually fill this out to get an idea of what the ultimate outcome of time is for the swim, the bike, the run, the transition time, and the ultimate race time. So it's an app called TriCalc3, www.tricalc.com. Excuse me, CALC, the number 3.com. So Rosemary, if you're listening, she's helping me out today. If you could type that in, www.tricalc3.com. And maybe tomorrow we can actually go through one and I can show you how to fill it out if you're confused. But that is a total game changer. You can plug in your distance of race. It has a space for, you want to pick race time predictor. You're going to click race time predictor on the website, and then you're going to fill in all the spots. And you don't know for sure how fast you're going to be running, how fast you're going to be swimming, but you have a general ballpark idea, and you also have a dream. So if you have a specific time, like say you want to break an hour in the sprint triathlon, or you want to break an hour and a half in the sprint triathlon, or if you want to do sub 3 hours in an Olympic distance, or at sub 2 hours in an international, and for the Ironman, say you want to go under 5 hours for a half Ironman, or under 12 hours for a full Ironman, you can plug in the numbers and see where you need work, right? And what we're talking about today is directly related to how do you come up with those numbers? We don't guess them. We actually use assessments. That's one of the things from today that we're going to go over. But we use these assessments and these testing. That's the second one, the testing. So assessments and testing, we use both of those things to help you predict and realize your ultimate tri performance. And we're not making shit up. Excuse my language. So many people come to me and they're like, well, I want this goal. And then we do their assessments, we do their testing, and they're going to be a little bit too far from the goal this time around. It doesn't mean that goal is not achievable. It just means that here's the areas we need to work based on reality, based on our assessments and our testing. And here's this first, 4 months, this is going to be where you're going to be. This is where I can get you. And then maybe the second 4 months of training, you can get to that ultimate goal, right? But we know for sure, because it's based on the evaluations, the assessments are based on you as a person and an individual, and they can't be based on anybody else. And so that's where you're really dialing in and getting specific on that ultimate dream goal time. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Okay, so I do, of course, want to start with another breath work before we get into the meat of everything. So again, I would love for you to sit up real straight in your chair, good posture, shoulders back and down, a really long neck. I love the image of, imagine you had to carry a basket of fruit on the top of your head, like those courageous women that are carrying their laundry and all their food like that. It's amazing how strong they are. But we need strong necks like that as well. So I want you to think about pushing your chin in and getting as tall as you can through your neck, shoulders back and down, and sit up real nice and straight. And again, I would love for you to put your hand on your belly button and just take a couple deep breaths in through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. And we're going to do something called box breathing today. And it's a great way to just a lot of people have brain fog. We're inundated by, shit coming in at us all different directions all the time. So feet on the ground, wiggle those toes, hand on the belly. And what we're going to do is we're going to breathe in for a count of 4 through your nose. You're going to hold your breath for 4, a count of 4. You're going to exhale slowly for a count of 4. And then we're going to hold your breath out for a count of 4. And we're going to do that 4 times. All right. So let's all together do that. Let's go ahead and inhale through your nose. Hold. Slowly exhale. And hold your breath out. Good. Inhale slowly. Hold. Exhale slowly, mouth or nose. Hold your breath out. Good. 2 more rounds. Inhale. Hold. Exhale slowly. Hold your breath out. Last one, I'm going to challenge you a little bit. Let's go. Inhale, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold 5. Exhale, 6. Hold your breath out, 6. Good job. Take a nice deep breath in, breathe normally, and just look around. See how that affected you. Did it help you get more centered? I have a kind of a cool story because I just learned that Aaron Rodgers, the famous quarterback, in football, he actually uses box breathing, and he just used it. He talked about how he used it in his most winning game last season, to help settle his nerves before he had I think he had like a minute left on the clock and he needed to score a touchdown for his team. And so he literally sat on the sidelines in all that chaos and he closed his eyes and he did box breathing, just like you and I did right now. So it's kind of cool that, even really high profile athletes at the top of the game are using this kind of breath work. I mean, it does work. It scientifically has been proven, and a lot of people, aren't into it, but I guarantee you it will change your life. So yes, thanks, Rosemary. See, you actually spelled it wrong, Rosemary. So we're going to try it again. www.TRICALC, like calculator, CALC, the number 3.com. So delete that other one if you can. I would hate for someone not to be able to find it. So TriCalc 3 is a great way to get a little bit more specific in that dream goal. Okay. So awesome, awesome, awesome. Let me just check my notes to see if there's anything else I wanted to get through before we get into the meat and potatoes of today. Okay, so we're at day 2 of the performance prep protocol. And this is exactly what I do with my athletes when they first join me. We talk about their dreams. We get as specific as possible without the assessments. But the assessments are the next 2 things that we work on. We work on assessments and testing, right? So I use this as a guide. What level triathlete are you? Michelle already shared with us very nicely. Thank you, Michelle, that she's a level 3. So I would love for you guys to answer this question for me. Level 1 is getting started, no real swim, bike, or run experience, kind of like a newbie. That's not a bad word either. So a newbie with a desire to learn the skills to become a triathlete. Maybe they have one sport. So 2, acquiring experience is a little experience in a swim, a bike, a run, or maybe just one, or maybe a couple of those, but never has put it together for an actual triathlon. So maybe strong in one sport, but not all 3, and really looking to build their skills in all 3 sports. Okay, level 2 is gaining momentum. You've raced a sprint, but you want to get better, faster, or go longer. So into the Olympic distance or international distance. You are willing to purchase a Garmin to measure, because to measure is to know. If you're not measuring, you're guessing. Okay. And we don't like guessing. I studied exercise physiology in college and in my master's, and I will tell you, it's a total game changer when you actually know the numbers. And I know that's scary to some people, but I really, really teach you to keep it super duper simple. But your Garmin is your best friend for recording your data. Because even if you don't know what you're recording, at least I'll get to see what you're recording, or your coach, whatever coach you work with, will get to see what's happening, virtually, because we don't see each other, right? If I'm coaching you virtually, I'm not going to be able to see you physically. So having the Garmin data is like game changing. And then you're ready to do testing and create your training zones and actually do some intervals, right? So let me know in the group chat what level triathlete you are. Level 4 is ready for more. Maybe you're ready to purchase better equipment, get better technology, improve your efficiency in your swim, bike, run. You've completed several sprints in Olympics and maybe won 70.3 or ready to go to 70.3. And then if you want to stay short, you're ready to get on the podium, maybe qualify for a nationals or a world championship. Or like I said, go longer, 70.3 or Ironman. And then level 5 is kind of an advanced level. So you're ready for the podium or world championships, short course or long course, doesn't even matter. You've done several sprints, several Olympics, and maybe a couple of 70.3s, and even a few Ironmans, right? But you're ready to improve your time and get faster. So this is an assessment right here. You guys hear the word assessment and people get scared, right? But this is it. You're just assessing what level you are right now in this present moment. Yes, Larry, I would agree. You're a level 5. Carl, welcome, Carl from Jamaica. I think it's Jamaica, or is it Trinidad? I can't remember. Carl, let me know where you're from again. But Maria, I'd love to know what level you are. I mean, you have a lot of experience in the sport, but I'm not sure, like, I know you do long course, I think aqua bike right now, but I'd love to see what level you are. Michelle already told us that she's a level 3, and Larry, we definitely know, is a level 5. But Ali, let me know if you're on the call today. I see you on the call, what level you think you are. And of course, it might change after the assessments that we want to do. Okay, so this is an assessment in itself, right? But we do want to go a little deeper, because triathlon is not just one sport, it's 3 sports in one, right? And so if I have an athlete who says, okay, I want to work with you, and here's my dream. If I don't assess them, I don't feel comfortable coaching them, because I'm not willing to give them a training program that could potentially drive their body into the ground and cause injury and overload that they're not ready for, right? And then they're not able to achieve their goal. So it's kind of like, it has to happen. The assessments kind of have to happen. And they're quite simple, right? So the number one thing is video, right? So video is like our best friend. My iPhone is like the biggest tool, and most people have phones now that they can record video of themselves swimming, biking, running. Okay, so maybe you might not have someone that can, ideally you have a friend, the lifeguard or whatever, that can videotape you at the pool. It's important to see all angles, but I can learn so much from someone's video analysis. It's crazy how much improvement you can get by getting video analysis. So simple from every side. So you go the side, and head on and moving away from the camera. For the swim, for the bike, obviously same thing. I would want to see someone from the side. I want to make sure their bike is fitting them, right? I want to make sure that all the angles are correct and their position is correct, because you can actually really, really hurt yourself if your bike fit is off. Okay, but if your bike fit is on or just needs a little tweaks, it can actually help you get faster and be more comfortable. So bike fit is huge. And then I also have a pedaling mechanics assessment that I do. And that helps me up level my athlete's performance on the bike. And then of course, running, video analysis of the run is critical to help avoid injury. And then I have a full strength and mobility assessment as well, because the cool thing, this is, and this is actually one of the things that's so overlooked, is your strength and mobility, right? Strength and mobility. If you start including that into your triathlon training program, it's game over as far as how much better you can get, no matter what level you are. So even Larry as a level 5, 100%, we can work together. He can do my assessments and find where he's not showing up for himself. And all he has to do is stretch his big toe or stretch his hip flexor a few times a week, and then things start to improve, right? So assessments are the name of the game. Does anybody have a question? Mark, you are a 3-ish. Okay, cool. Okay, Carl, yeah, you're from Jamaica. How's your daughter? I hope she's doing well. Okay, so assessing where you are, what level triathlete you are, and then assessing your biomechanics. Okay, that was I was just talking about. So getting a video analysis of your form and technique during the swim, the bike, and the run while you're actually moving is a total game changer for your performance, as well as strength assessing your strength level. So one of the biggest missing factors in most people's triathlon performance is their core strength. They just don't have the stability in their core, and then they end up getting injured, right? So core strength is so critical. And I have a complete program that's based only on triathlon. Obviously, I'm not training people to kayak, right? So it's not an assessment based on kayaking. My assessments are all based on swimming, biking, running. And the video doesn't lie. And I love video analysis also because, believe it or not, people are like, I do that with my arm when I run. Oh my God, I had no idea, right? So it's kind of like a mirror, right? And it's hard. Don't get me wrong. It's hard to get a video of yourself running for yourself. So you definitely need a friend to help shoot the video, but it takes less than 2 minutes to get the video that's appropriate to be able to make some or get some feedback on what you could be doing. But it's a total game changer. Okay. And so we talked about assessments. If you're not assessing, you're guessing. The second thing for today, the two crucial steps that are missing in most triathletes training programs is testing. And even that word turns my athletes off. I will actually stop using the word test if it's one of those things that people have such head trash about. But testing is not pass fail. Okay. Testing is just finding out what your cardiovascular fitness level is. Because again, I am not comfortable giving training programs out to athletes if I don't know what their cardiovascular fitness is. And my tests are not hard. Okay. They're very simple to perform. You're not going to die performing them. It's not this all out, I have to be the fastest I've ever been on this day. It's not about that. It's about where you are to perform the test and feel comfortable doing it. And all the parameters that we're going to measure, your heart rate, right? Your speed or your mile per hour. If you have a power meter, of course, we're going to use power on the bike. Your cadence, RPMs are huge. So I need to know what your RPMs are on the bike and on the run, because that alone can be a total game changer on your performance. So the test is not pass fail. It's just a baseline from where you are when we start to where you are in 6 to 8 weeks, because we repeat the tests after 6 to 8 weeks. And it's so cool, you guys, how motivating when you see your own improvement and you haven't been killing yourself. You've just been showing up. You've just been consistent. You're showing up for yourself, for the commitment you made. You're not going outside of the box of the commitment that you made, but you're still making progress, right? So when you retest, it's like you really get super duper motivated. And you're like, oh my God, when I did that swim test, it was so hard for me. And this time I finished it, no problem. I didn't have to rest on the wall at all. And I took 3 minutes off, right? When you see that improvement, you are committed. You will start showing up more because you are getting positive feedback from your efforts, right? So it's a total game changer. Let me just check the, yes. So Michelle, yeah. So yeah. And so strength and mobility is just one of those things that's so overlooked in the sport. And I will tell you, I'm going to go into this a little bit more tomorrow, but sometimes people who have more experience in the sport, they're swimming, they're biking, they're running, they just start stretching and they start doing a little bit of strength and they start to get faster, and nothing else changed in their training. Their actual swim, bike, and run, training didn't change, just the strength and just the mobility change. And they are faster just because they're able to get into the positions they need to and be more biomechanically efficient to get the work done with ease. So heart rates go down, they can push faster because they have more wiggle room because they're looser. My way is to power through mechanics is questionable. Yeah, so that's a huge mistake, Larry, right? So if you maybe have been told, hey, man, your right foot sticks out to the side while you're running. And you're like, yeah, I know, but it's not slowing me down. What's the cost of that? What is the long-term cost of having poor biomechanics? Biomechanics is how your body moves, how your joints move biomechanically through the range of motion that you're doing, like if it's swimming, biking, or running. So say I give the example of the foot sticking out, or the knees are sticking out to the side as people pedal. What's the cost of not correcting that? Do you guys think? What is the cost? Hey, Rachel. Anybody want to give a gander? What is the cost? Michelle, I'll answer your question in 1 second, but what is the cost of poor biomechanics? It could be surgery, right? So if you're anything like me, I'm never having surgery, okay? I don't care. I've had my share of injuries, but I always let my body recover. And thankfully, knock on wood, I've never had like like where I got, hit by a car or anything like that, where I've had things so broken that I need to have surgery. That's a different story. But when you have a foot sticking out and you completely continue to run where your knee has nowhere to go for support, you're talking knee replacements, hip replacements, and our society. I mean, I can't tell you, this year alone, I've probably had 20 people mention, oh yeah, I'm getting my knee replaced. Oh yeah, I'm getting my hip replaced. Oh yeah, I'm getting my shoulder done again. Like, it's so, I'm sorry, but I think it's barbaric to cut our joints the way that we're cutting them at a rate that's so fast, when honestly, most of the time, like I believe 90% of the time, you can heal from all of these injuries. But the doctor, if you go to an orthopedic surgeon, that's what they do for a living. They're going to recommend surgery, right? But this is the cost. The cost of poor biomechanics is joints wearing out unevenly, causing you to get rid of your cartilage, and also wear and tear on the joint because nothing's in alignment. So the cost is really, really high for the biomechanics assessments, right? So it's worth it, in my opinion, to take the time to stretch your ankle to get your foot to be straight, right? To when you're walking around in public, you look down at your feet, or your feet turned out like a duck, or are you consciously thinking about, okay, I'm going to step down on my heel and follow through to my big toe, right? Or you're wearing shoes that can help you have improved biomechanics. And if you don't know me, I do not recommend Hoka's or Nikes, okay? And we can get into that another time, but the less cushion, the better. The more barefoot, the better. Physical therapy, yeah, a good PT can definitely help, but guess what? Unless you are, have unlimited funds, and you got to do your homework on your own, Mark. It's not just going to the PT. I really don't like a lot of PTs. I will tell you, Athletics is my physical therapist in Miami, and they're in South Florida. They make you work. I am working when I go to my physical therapist. And because of, I recovered from my hamstring injury because I had to work so hard. I had never worked so hard to get strong in my hamstring than I had worked with Athletics. So yeah, PT is great to tell you what to do or help you, right? But guess what? You've got to do the work on the daily basis to keep that correction going, right? And there will come a time, actually, okay, well, my next video analysis, look, my foot's straighter. I am making progress, right? Your body can change. We are miraculous beings, okay, you guys? Like, we, right now, over 300 trillion, different things are going on in each one of our bodies right now while I'm talking to you and you guys are listening. It's insane. Our bodies are capable of so much more. Remember that book, The Biology of Belief. So yeah, Mark, love it every day, right? And we're going to get into this a little bit also tomorrow, but nutrition is a huge component of your biomechanics and your mobility and your strength. Because if you're not eating properly and having your food being digested and absorbed properly, you might never get the mobility and the strength that you're capable of, because you're not even ingesting and absorbing the nutrients that you're trying to put into your body, okay? So Mark, everyday love it. Right shoulder is so bad from being hit by cars that the last time I went to the doctor, I needed to re-break the shoulder. Okay, so yeah. So honestly, I don't believe him, Larry, okay? So I don't know if you can, but I want you to take that information and throw it away, because I think you're right. I think that you can recover and your body can realign the joint through strength and stretching, that you can avoid surgery. So I believe you. I believe in your process. And I'm with you. If I knew they had to re-break something to correct it, I think your body's better off you taking the time and, motion is lotion. How to swim, and try maybe finagling your form a little bit to get through the motion, but just, doing it gradually, not going too strong, too fast, too far, too soon. Okay. But I'm with you there. I would not want to have surgery. Okay. So those are the two big missing pieces, of course. What that allows you is to then create training zones for your training, right? So now I know who you are as an athlete, as a person. I know your lifestyle. I do my assessments for nutrition as well, as I mentioned. But also, how long are you sitting down all day? When do you go to the bathroom? I actually want to know all that about you, because that's going to affect your training and the outcome of this goal that you came to me for. Okay. So it's really, really important to have ways of measuring, right? So the measurement could be just looking at this chart and saying what you are and where you want to go. But it could be also as complex as filling out a food log for a week, right? To let me know what kind of nutrition you are doing right now, how you're feeling, right? And if you need some help via supplements, etc., or are you absorbing the nutrients that you're ingesting? So we cover all of those assessments and lifestyle. Lifestyle assessments are probably also a big thing that's not included in most training programs. But you guys, if triathlon doesn't fit into your lifestyle, you're not going to stick with it and you're not going to be successful. Okay. So if you work 90 hours a week as a lawyer or a doctor or whatever, and then you want to do a double Ironman, something's going to give, right? So that's where assessing, okay, what's realistic for me right now in my current lifestyle? I'm married, I have 5 kids, I work 90 hours a week, and I don't have you honestly, I'm going to tell you, you don't have time to do a double Ironman. And if you do, something's going to give. It could be your marriage, it could be your business, and it could be your body. Okay. So, I have to set realistic goals for my athletes too and help work with them. Doesn't mean that goal is not achievable, that he can't do a double Ironman maybe when his kids are over the age of 10 and he has, 10 to 15 hours a week to train, right? So you have to be setting realistic goals that make sense. Okay. So yesterday and today are now coming together in a big puzzle piece, I hope, right? And so another cool way that I actually analyze the video analysis is I use an app called OnForm. And it's kind of a cool story. You can look up the app OnForm. And so all of my athletes that I work with, they upload their own their own videos into the form, and I get a text message and I look at their video just like that. And the cool thing is the man who the gentleman who designed OnForm, he also designed Training Peaks, and that's where I do my training programs. And it's cool because he was with Training Peaks at the very beginning, 1999. I was one of their very first users, and I still have my same account with them since 1999. And when I downloaded OnForm, I had a one-on-one, and it was the same guy. He's like, "Hey, Erin, how are you? I didn't know you were still doing this game." And I'm like, "Yeah, I can't believe you're still here too." So the app is truly amazing. It's highly functional. I can draw lines on your video analysis. I can talk to you. I can re-record where I see that you need work. So it's like a game changer as far as giving you feedback real time whenever you can give me or any coach can be synced with you feedback. So that OnForm app is a total game changer. Okay, so you guys do have homework. So any questions first? Any questions at all? Real quick, Michelle asked me, do I have am I a personal trainer? So yes, I'm a personal trainer. I've been doing this for 25 years. This is my 25th year in the sport. But of course, I started as a personal trainer and I worked in a gym setting while I was getting my studying to get my master's in exercise physiology at University of Miami. I was there for 3 years, but I never completed my coursework just because I started working. And I actually fell in love with triathlon, and I left my, my education behind. I didn't complete and get my master's. However, I did get a lot of education from it. So I loved my classes at UM, my neurophysiology, my biomechanics learning. But the one thing that was so interesting from my education at University of Miami back in 1993 was my nutrition. So my nutrition education actually caused me great pain because I was directed by my, this program that endurance athletes need 70% of their nutrition from carbohydrates. And I did that. And that's what most of the country does right now. And it drove me right into a hole of just way too much carbohydrate. And if you guys are interested in more about nutrition, I am going to be doing a nutrition course in October. But yeah, so some things you learn in school are applicable and some things are not. And I will tell you, in my 25 years, the systems that I've created for my assessments and my training programs are all based on real people and reality for athletes that I've worked with myself face-to-face and online virtually, and also in my own journey from sprint triathlon to Ironman, because I've done all those distance of races. All right, you guys, any questions? Let me know. So big thing for homework, we already talked about your dream race, but I'd love for you to post your TriCalc 3. So I know that's a big, scary thing, but it's going to ask you your swim time, your bike time, your run time, your transition times. If you're doing aqua bike, you can just leave the run at 0 and just put your swim and your run. But what you're going to do is you're going to fill out the thing, and then you're going to take a picture of it and post it into today's post. And remember, the more people that are participating, you get, I don't know if you can see it, but this is a giant bag full of all my swag. It's a killer swag bag. And so if you participate, the more you email me back from the emails that I'm sending you, the more you comment and respond to what I'm asking you to do for homework, the more chances you're going to have to win. So what's your dream race? And include your TriCalc 3. Okay, I want to know the date of the race, the name of the race, the distance of the race, and your TriCalc 3. So www.tricalc3.com. What level of triathlete are you currently, right? And that's kind of important. Like, say you're a level 1 and you want to do an Ironman. I'm going to recommend a few sprints and a few Olympics and at least one 70.3 before you get to that Ironman. So it might change your dream goal timeline, your race goal timeline, if you are a level 1 and you want to get to Ironman. Doesn't mean you can't do it. I've had athletes that come to me and like, hey, I've never done a triathlon before and I'm doing one in 4 months. Can you help me? And I'm like, well, how much fitness do you have right now? And based on that, I'll say yes or no. I mean, I have passed on helping athletes because I just didn't think that they were ready for it. And I thought that they would hurt themselves, right? But most of the time, if someone's got some level of fitness, I can definitely help them get across the finish line. They might not be the fastest they could have been if we had 4 more months or 6 months to get ready. So do you understand and appreciate the value of assessing instead of guessing? So like, even assessing yourself, you're on your own, right? There's so many different field tests that you can do. I have specific ones that I work with. And then what is your biggest struggle? This is a new one because it's going to lead into tomorrow. But what is your biggest struggle in regards to achieving your dream or goal, right? So say your goal is the Ironman and you have limited time. Put that, send me a note or post it here. I have limited time. My schedule is so tight. I don't have enough time to commit to the training that I'm required, right? Say it's skills. Say you don't know how. You don't know how to swim well. You don't know how to cycle well. You don't know how to run well. Skills would be your reply. Or like Larry, maybe you're suffering from an injury. I mean, I don't think that slows him down though in any way. But I know, Larry, I don't know why you're not running. So are you injured in the run too? I'd love to know. So Tracy says she's a level 4, been on the podium a few times, love it. Going to my first half Ironman in October. I love it. And she's going to nationals next year since I qualified it. I love that, Tracy. So you're a perfect person to participate in the challenge today. So what you're going to do is I want you to do your Tri-Calc 3 for your 70.3 in October. What race is that? And because there's a full iron or half Ironman in October. Could it be North Carolina? That could be it. So go ahead and type in or in the group chat what your Tri-Calc 3 is. So you're going to fill it out and then take a picture of it and post it here so I can see it. That's awesome. And if you want to do one for your Olympic next year, you know, maybe do a dream one. Hey, I've done a couple of Olympics. You've already been on the podium, right? So maybe you could have a PR time at nationals. How cool would that be? Okay, cool. North Carolina, I love it. So that's a super flat, fast course. There is some hills on the run. So maybe, you know, plan your Tri-Calc 3 based on what you think you can do, right? You playing with the numbers. And it's kind of cool to see how the testing can help you dial in. Here's your goal, but here's the reality based on your testing. Okay. Oh, so, okay, cool. So Larry says he has an issue with the back of his heel. So I'm pretty sure that's where your Achilles attaches. So if I were you, I would not wait till the end of the season. I would be massaging it and, you know, mobilizing it and strengthening it as much as possible right now. It could be a calcium deposit, which is very, very common. And you can actually get rid of that nutritionally and with laser treatments. So be careful with the podiatrist, especially because they love to put you in orthotics and they love to do surgery. So there are so many other solutions to those problems. Okay, thanks, Tracy. I look forward to hearing from you and what your Tri-Calc 3 is for that. Yeah, no pain. Good. Don't risk it. I love it. All right, guys, that's it for today. What's my time? I didn't even look. I have my, I don't have my watch. Okay, cool. What's the time? Okay, good. I promised under an hour. Okay, you guys, I am super excited to be sharing with you. I do, like I said, I have a special surprise tomorrow. I'll be announcing that I'm doing a private training on Friday if you guys are interested in learning more. But we're going to keep going because we have another, we have my secret recovery stuff tomorrow. So recovery is a huge topic. So again, we're going to keep it under an hour, but we're going to get into the nitty-gritty of the importance of recovery. And then we have one more day after that, and that's going to be more race specific. So I'm super excited to share. Again, I'm so happy you're here as a part of Triathlon Obsessed. My community is so helpful. And I will tell you, we've had so many athletes say that they've done amazing and have received so much information from this group. So you're in a great place to learn more. And I'm happy you're here with me on this live. All right, you guys, have an awesome day. Remember to schedule tomorrow and Thursday and potentially Friday at 12 if you're interested in learning on the private training. All right, guys, have a good one.